It is the end of 2014. If this video, it's posted in 2014, but let's not talk about that, shall we? So, to end off, I bring to you the completely neutral ride. Flight to the moon, rocket to the moon, and mission to Mars. For both Disneyland and Disney World. And don't worry, nothing will happen. I mean, this show, it is the budget of a paperclip. Actually, wrong info. The paperclip. Making a paperclip takes more money to produce than this show. Yes, that's how big out of a budget we are. So, let's set the mood. Lights, please. There's no one switching the lights. Let me see if I can do it myself. That literally does nothing. Okay, no lights. So, let's begin with these three rides. Cue the intro. On July 22nd, 1955, 4 days after Disneyland's opening, a new, fully advanced, never-before-seen D-ticket ride opened. Rocket to the Moon. The ride was a simulator attraction about you being the first to get to the moon. After that, you would unfortunately be sent back to Anaheim, California. During the trip, you would also learn fun facts about space and the moon. This was made by using tilting effects and by having two circular screens that showed where the guests were and where they were going. The entire room was a basic circular theater room, but with again the two screens. The most impressive thing about the ride, though, was that the entrance had a giant rocket on the outside, to make it look like you were actually going into an official spaceship. The rocket was called the TWA Moonliner, which was a ship designed specifically by the Imagineers for the ride. This ship was sponsored by Trans World Airlines, hence the TWA. Trans World Airlines also sponsored the ride at the time. And, after the first Moonliner, 3 more were then built, but none to the incredible size of the original, which was actually also the tallest structure in the park at the time, even bigger than Sleeping Beauty's castle. Also, in the gift shop, they sold many toys of the ship, including a model set. But, in 1962, Trans World Airlines ended the sponsorship with the ride, and Douglas Aircrafts stepped in, which caused the ship to be renamed into the Douglas Moonliner. The red, sleek stripes were replaced by blue ones, and the word Douglas would be written down the rocket in thin, red writing. However, in 1967, NASA started the Apollo program, which led to the famous 1969 moon landing. Because of this, Disney wanted to make a more realistic experience, leading to the new McDonnell Douglas Airlines and Disney to make Flight to the Moon, which opened in New Tomorrowland at Disneyland in 1967. The ride was basically a more thrilling and realistic version of the original, with a bigger theater, moving seats, and a new intro with audio animatronics acting as your mission control, with the main leader being a man named Mr. Tom Morrow. Get it? Like tomorrow? Tom Morrow? Tomorrow? Also, unlike the original ride, this ride had a story. A thin story at that, but a story nonetheless. It involved you going to the moon and meeting Moon Base. However, an asteroid or meteor shower was destroying your ship, and it'd be too dangerous to land on the moon, so you were forced to go back to Earth. Which, in my opinion, probably more dangerous, but we'll just skip that part. However, even with this, the ride lost something. The grand ship that led the original ride was gone. Also, on December 24th, 1971, the ride opened in Disney World with minor improvements. Sadly, though, the people were not pleased, since they had now seen a moon landing. The moon was an old thing. It was kind of showing its age. So, Flight to the Moon closed in March of 1975 at Disneyland, and on April 15th, 1975 at Disney World. So, with the moon being old news, Disney set its sights on a new place. A new planet, if you will. So, on March 21st, 1975, Mission to Mars opened in Disneyland, while on June 7th, 1975, Mission to Mars opened in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. It too was sponsored by McDougall Airlines, but the sponsorship eventually did end, but everything Douglas related was just changed to remove Douglas. Even the fin on the top of the building, which had its color scheme based on the company logo, remained. The show is basically the same as the moon rides, but with minor differences, like going to Mars instead of the moon, the man in the beginning not being Mr. Tom Morrow, but being Mr. Johnson. Johnson? Who's Johnson? Johnson, who weirdly enough is voiced by the same guy who did Tom, George Walsh. There was also a remake queue and entrance, and new footage, of course. Also, the ride became more intense than the original. However, moments including a meteor hitting the ship, Pina Renade, the moon host, returning to host, but not as man on the moon base, but as an omniscient being known as Third Officer Collins, and the Albatross from Flight to the Moon, returning to mess things up again, all remained in the ride. That really is all to say about the ride. It wasn't innovative, it wasn't awe-inspiring. In fact, most people confuse this ride for Flight to the Moon due to their uncanny similarities. However, after 18 years of operation, Mission to Mars did finally end on November 2nd, 1992, and on October 3rd, 1993, in Disneyland and Disney World respectively. It closed due to Eisner wanting a new direction for Tomorrowland. It was also caused America Sings, the Skyway, and Disneyland's People Mover to close. Luckily, though, all three rides are still remembered fondly. For instance, Red Rocket's Pizza Port, which replaced Disneyland's version of Mission to Mars, still has a tip from the ride's entrance facade, and it has a smaller TWA moonliner near the entrance, where it would have been. But the ship is now themed to Coca-Cola. Luckily, though, it is still red, like the original. Next, Mr. Tom Morrow reappears with his skin off in Disneyland's Innoventions, and Mr. Johnson is referenced in Disney World's Tomorrowland to be a man on the radio talking about traffic updates. Also, in the year 2000, Disney released a movie loosely based on the ride called Mission to Mars, which starred Gary Sinise, Tim Robbins, Connie Nielsen, and Don Cheadle. It was, unfortunately, not good. Also, along with a bunch of other rides, the TWA Moonliner appears in a level of the game, Epic Mickey, in the level known as Space Voyage. Lastly, in 2003, Mission Space opened in Epcot, and is considered to be Mission to Mars' spiritual successor. Well, that's the end of a great episode. And the final episode of 2014. Well, time to pack my bags. I'm not leaving anywhere, I just find a fun thing to say at the end of the year. Oh, wait! One really big thing I completely forgot to say. Oh, God, this is really important. Why did I put this in me? In Walt Disney World, the Mission to Mars, it was replaced by, a cult classic ride such as Great Escape. It's really popular. Personal favorite. It was. Yeah, it completely was. These people. No. No. I'm not doing that ride. If I do that ride, I'll be horrified for life. No. I have to. To keep the show going. Fine. I'll do it. Come back soon. When we have an extraterrestrial encounter. better known to be an alien encounter. See you then.